Hey, it's Barry.
And Dave.
And
Ken.
All right.
Where's Jerry and Dan?
And they're out fishing.
Must be nice.
They're on the water.
I had somebody ask me the other day, so how's the fishing been? I went, oh. We've been so doggone busy getting ready for what's coming up. We're going to talk about here in just a minute. So in this episode, we're going to go ahead and cover a couple things. One's going to be talking with Colonel V as he goes by, or Ken. And Dave's going to jump into that here in just a second. And we want to do a shout out to Blue Cypress Lakeside Cabins. That is a great place to stay. If you're coming into town, you're going to fish the lake, you want to be somewhere different, not in a hotel situation. You're right on the water. You can put your boat in the water, tied off to the dock behind your cabin that you're in. Super comfortable. The owners, fantastic people. Jim, they'll take care of you down there. You'll have a great time, and it's it's close drive to go over to Headwaters as well. So you get kind of two for the price of one.
Right.
You get to fish Blue Cypress and enjoy that lake, and then go to any of the other lakes that you want. So check them out.
Yeah, it's a little bit more. It's a rustic setting, as we keep saying.
Yeah.
But beautiful, and give Jim or Tammy a call. They will hook you up. They'll go out of their way to make you comfortable and get you squared away.
So what else is going on? What are we doing?
Well, we got our buddy Ken here, and Ken is the official Hooked on Headwaters science guy. So if it has to do with space stars and under the water, he's our man.
Yep. Everybody's got to have a guy. Right?
That's right.
Start fishing on Mars. I'm ready to go. We're good to go.
So earlier in the week, we released a video. It was Ken, and he was sharing, talking about. It's more of a lecture about the bass spawn. It is, I tell you, it is the most informative, detailed piece of information that I've seen regarding the spawn. Hopefully you've had a chance to view it. If not, put it on your list. I'll link it right here. So today, Ken is going to just give us a synopsis of that video. So come and touch on the highlights. And we are now here in Florida. It is spawn. The spawn is on. So they're staging. They're either spawning. They're going back and forth. And in a few weeks, the spawn will start. We'll start seeing the spawn in the mid-South states, and hopefully in the northeast and northern part of the country. What did the groundhog see its shadow?
Actually, I think he did.
So that means.
I know.
That means
6 more weeks of winter.
6 more winter. Okay, guys, up north,
relative.
you got a while before the spawn hits up there. But
right.
All the information on the video that Ken shared is it covers the entire country.
Yeah, there's no better way to become a better fisherman than to dig into the science of what's really going on. Helps you understand what the fish are doing and movements and all the all the stuff that we kind of just don't even think about. And when you understand the science behind it, then you're like, now things are starting to add up. So it gives you an edge over everybody else out there. So definitely check that video out.
Yep. So with that said, I'm going to kick it over to Ken.
All right, thanks. So real briefly, right, most people are familiar, if you've been bass fishing any length of time, you're familiar with the spawn in general, but I'll go over some of the high level points here. So 60 degrees water temperature is kind of what you hear most of the time, and that's kind of the trigger point for the male bass. They kind of understand and know as the water is starting to reach that temperature, that's when they're going to start making that first move to the spawning flats. Okay, and so you need to be a weather watcher this time of year and be checking temperatures, and as that water starts to get near 60 degrees in wherever you are, you need to get out and you start looking for those potential spawning flat areas and watching and see what's happening. You'll see the males show up first, and then the females won't be far behind. So when the water temperature is 60 degrees in the shallow spawning flats, you need to be in those areas. You want to start looking. The females are going to be behind the males, and they're going to be in the first deep water staging area near there, okay? And they're going to be actively feeding, so they are catchable, particularly with power fishing techniques, and so you want to be looking for them there. As the water goes from 60 to 64, 65, that's when the actual spawning typically takes place. So the females are going to move onto the spawning flats at that point, and if you're out fishing, you should actually see them roaming around the beds. They haven't locked on the bed yet. They're going to get a little more difficult to catch at that point because they've kind of stopped feeding, but they're still catchable. And then eventually, if you're there at the right time, you'll see the male and the female, what we call locked on the bed, which is they'll be on the bed together. They're actually in the act of spawning at that point. Spawning only takes a couple of hours, so if you see them together, that's what's going on. Once that happens, the female leaves very quickly. They head back to the first deep water area from the spawning flat. The males stay, help the eggs hatch, and then guard the fry for a couple of weeks. So if you're interested in catching the females after the spawn, if you see the males and you see the eggs or fry, again, the females are not far away. They've moved back to the first deep water area, so go back to that first place you were before the spawn. They're going to be there again and again. They're actively feeding because they're trying to recover. So the same kind of power fishing techniques should work. If you're going to try to sight fish big females while they're on the beds, you'll need to switch tactics because they don't actually eat during that spawning period, neither do the males. And so what happens is if you throw bait in and around their bed, they're going to try to attack that bait and move it off the bed, but they're not going to try to eat it. So you need to be on your game and you need to be watching, and the minute you see that female or the male pick up that bait, you need to set the hook instantaneously because they're going to drop it probably within less than a second, and so you don't have a very long window to catch them. All right, so that's in general. Now, we mentioned Florida here, so I took a look at the weather. I haven't actually been out in about a week, but I mentioned in the video you need to become a weather watcher this time of year if you expect to catch bass on the spawn. So today, here in Florida, Central Florida, it was 79 degrees with a low of 66, okay? For the next week, daytime temperatures 82, 69, 74, 77, 80, 82, 82, 83, all the way to Friday. Okay, that's good, but that's not the whole story. What you also need to be concerned with is what is the nighttime temperature and what's the lowest it's going to get. Okay, and the nighttime temperatures on those same week is 64, 58, 63, 65, 64, 63, 64, 62. Okay, now what that tells me is that here in Florida, this week is probably you're going to see a relatively large migration of the big females move onto the spawning flats. And the reason for that is real simple. It's not the daytime temperatures you care about as much. You need to look at the nighttime temperature, and you need to compare that to the temperature of your lake during the day. And if the nighttime temperatures don't fall below what the current lake temperature is, that's what's going to warm the lake up every single day. Right? As an example, 75 degrees today, the water temperature is 60, let's say. If the nighttime temperature falls to 52, well, tomorrow the temperature is not going to be 60 degrees. It's not going to warm up, okay? So the nighttime temperature has to be at or above whatever your lake temperature is every day for several days, and then you will see water warm, and that's what's going to push the bass onto the beds. Okay, that's what you really need to be paying attention to, not just the daytime temperature. And the next 6 days, that's the exact scenario. We got high 70s and low 80s, and except for Saturday night, temperatures are staying in the mid 60s at night. So I didn't get to check what the water temperature was today or yesterday, but if it's anywhere near 60 degrees or so, conditions are ripe right here for making that happen. Right. So if you're looking to try to catch big females and you're here in Central Florida, I would get out and fish this next coming week, and it's only going to get better, I think. So, and like I said, we'll be out there Saturday, and should be an interesting, right, we got 2 days of warm plus, and even though temperature is going to drop Saturday night, it's still going to be warm the rest of the week. So I think it should be some interesting reports coming
just to recap that here. So based on all that information, when we're out fishing, then you're looking for those fish to be coming out of that deeper water into the flat areas?
I think if you were on the lake today, I think you could find males wandering around the flats, making beds, right. And the females, either they're in that first deep water, or some of them have probably started to cruise up. And one of the interesting things about bass is the biggest bass spawn first, typically. So the bigger females a few of them have started to wander up and look around those flats, but certainly the rest of them are sure to follow as the weather stays nice next couple of days. Right. And remember, spawning is not this monolithic event, okay? the reason it goes on for so long is because all the bass spawn at different times. All the bass are different. So it's not like you got 10,000 bass and they all spawn on the same day. It's over days and weeks and sometimes months. Some come, some go, and so. But I think we finally got a warming trend that looks like it's going to stay warm. I think now is the time to find that first deep canal or ditch or something near a big shallow flat, and particularly find some vegetation where it drops off into a canal, and those places are where those big females ought to be wandering around.
Man, that's good stuff there.
Oh, that's good. What's the biggest difference between northern spawn and southern spawn?
One of the things about in the north is because the temperature variation or the seasonal changes are very distinct and shorter, the bass have developed a sense of what's going on, and so the urge to spawn and get it over with is stronger, and so the spawn is much shorter. So the first time they get that warming trend after it's been cold for some length of time, and the days have gotten longer, they're all going to make that move, and then they get a short window of warming trend, they're going to lay their eggs, and then they're out of there. In Florida, the bass don't have any compunction to do that because the season's never really, there is no winter. People are like, well, when the water warms to 60 degrees, look for the spawn. I'm like, the water is always 60 degrees in Florida. And that's something to understand around here. That's what's going on, is they're not, we don't get cold water for them to retreat to, and so it's different. But up in the north, you're going to see that, and I know some of the guys, sorry, you're still ice fishing, good for you. But eventually, once you get steady warming, you don't constantly get cold or a little warm back and forth, and it stays this trend of warm, warm, warm. You'll see the bass make that move into shallows and do their spawning thing.
Gotcha.
But, that's the biggest difference, I think.
Awesome.
Really good stuff.
Really good. And again, you need to watch this video. It's an educational experience. It's going to make you a better fisherman, guaranteed. Whether you're from here, Florida, up north, it's going to help your fishing, your tactics, choosing your time, better use of your time and equipment on the lake for sure. So check out the video. Don't miss it. Don't miss out. This weekend, that's a big announcement. We are inviting everyone to the Hooked on Headwaters Greet and Meet. So we will be the team, and when I say the team, be Barry and I, Ken, science guy, Captain Jerry, and Captain Dan. We'll all be there. We just want to say hello to everyone. If you're on the lake, as we suspect many people will be, it's a holiday weekend. Man, stop by, show us pics of your catch. We may record some of that. We'd like to hear your story about your catch that day. We've got a bottle of water for you. We've got some great giveaways or raffles. So the raffles will begin at 1:30 p.m.
Free, by the way.
Free, no charge. So the raffles will be on the half hour. So 1:30, 2 o'clock, 2:30, 3:30, 3:30, and so forth throughout the day until 5 o'clock. So plenty of opportunity for you to win something really, really nice. American Baitworks is sponsoring this event. We're so grateful to them. They've provided us with some really, really neat bait products. We also have a very special announcement from American Baitworks, which pertains to Headwaters Lake.
Right.
And that's all I can say.
Yeah.
Now.
Good stuff you're going to want to stop in and find out about, that's for sure. And just as a side note, we'll throw it out there as a reminder, somebody locally happened to win a tournament down in Okeechobee last week, or 2 weeks ago. 3 weeks ago, yeah. And they happened to win it in part by using some net bait gear there. So Okeechobee craw, big bobber. So that's a hot. And I can tell you personally, I mentioned it last week.
Right.
It worked for me and my wife, my son. We had a great time with it. So if you are looking for that bait, this is our chance just to let you know that we do have a special 15% discount through American Baitworks. So if there's anything that you're not finding locally or something that we're suggesting, bounce over to AmericanBaitworks.com, and when you go to your purchase, get to your shopping cart, go ahead and put in Headwaters 15 as a coupon code. You get 15% discount off of everything.
And that includes halo rods. That includes all their baits. It's a pretty good deal. There is free shipping, and I don't recall the amount. It's the dollar amount, $7,500, but 15% off and free shipping. Can't go wrong. So
let's keep it in mind.
Take advantage. Take advantage of that.
What else we got, Dave? We should talk about right now. We should talk about
the Davis House Inn.
That's it. They are great people, great place to stay, super comfortable rooms, big rooms. You're not crunched in this little tiny thing that you can't turn around with, your wife or your husband, and you're bouncing into each other. I mean, there's room in these rooms. You're right out on the river, beautiful view. If you want to take a kayaking trip, get hold of Dave. He does guided trips out there, and I tell you, if you've never been in the intercoastal, if you're especially from somebody from up north who really doesn't, maybe used to some freshwater streams and things, but you get out on intercoastal, Dave gets you on dolphin, manatee, all the stuff that's going on out there. It's just a blast. I take it for granted because I was born and raised here.
Yeah, right.
I don't think much of it. But for the folks that come down from up north, it's a big thing. It's, manatee right there.
Right there.
Sea cow, big, right? But gentle creatures, really, really fun experience. The porpoises are all around. We call them dolphins, but they're porpoises. They're there. So definitely hit Dave up if you want to do that. Add that to your trip. It's a great family thing. So if you're coming out with the family, you're thinking, hey, I'm going to go fish and leave them back. They'll have plenty to do, but again, it's a great family adventure. So
just think about it. We use pedal drive kayaks.
Yep.
We'll be heading out in your group to your own island.
Yep.
There's no one else around. You've got your own island. You can hang out. Some islands are connected by sandbars, so you can go venture. There's some small trails. It's really, really a cool trip. I bring out chairs for everyone. Put your feet in the water and just chill.
Yeah.
Or if you bring an adult beverage, you can certainly enjoy that as well.
So super time, and then right there where Davis House Inn is, there's lots of restaurants within walking distance.
Yes.
So really, really nice restaurants, really good food. So keep an eye on our page, though. We are going to be adding a list of restaurants that are in other areas. So if you're staying up in Melbourne, Melbourne or Palm Bay, if you're staying in that area, we'll have a list of good restaurants and places to eat as well, and places to stay. More up in that area.
And speaking about page, if you are interested in purchasing one of the Hooked on Headwaters shirts, they are available there. Just hit us up, contact. By the way, we will have these available on Saturday on site. So if you guys are looking to purchase one, they'll be there. There's some limited size, but I think we've got just about every with limited quantities within each side.
Yeah, we really do appreciate your support. You guys backing us on that too. It's just a big thing for us. So, now what?
Now, that's it. We are done.
I think they're thinking something's wrong. This wasn't very long. This wasn't a 45-minute video, Dave.
Short
How can that be? Is everything okay?
It's short and sweet and to the point.
It is. And folks, we're going to finish up just by telling you once again how much, and we'll take it repeatedly, how much we absolutely really appreciate each and every one of you watching videos, commenting, when we run into y'all on the water or the parking lot. I can't tell you how much fun it is to run into somebody, that's down from up north, or we've been back and forth in messaging, our messages. It's just a lot of fun for us. That's what drives us to do what we do. That's what makes it worth it. So thank you very much.
And speaking about parking, if you plan to attend or join us at the Headwaters this weekend, please park in a non-trailer parking spot if you don't have a trailer. It's 1 o'clock, so 99% of the fishermen have already been out there and they're coming back. There is ample parking across the street. It's just a short walk.
That would be the best thing to do. Yeah,
so please don't park in a trailer parking spot if you're a single car. Park in. There are some very limited single car spaces, but across the street, ample parking. Just park and walk across the street, please.
Yep. All right. So thank you very much, Kim. Really appreciate you jumping in here in the seat there. Man, I learned a lot in just that little short time.
Yep.
I'm still going through the in-depth video, which I'm learning a lot from. So great stuff. Really, really appreciate you.
Sure, my pleasure.
And
okay,
that's a wrap, folks. So
we'll see you Saturday. Looking forward to it.
1 to 5 at the ramp.
See you then. Any comments?
Down below.
Hit us up. So please, if you're new to the channel, please subscribe. It really helps us and supports us. And we appreciate it all. Thank you.
Okay.
Bye. God bless.